What's going on, everybody? Hey, I just walking down here to the beach and getting ready to do my Facebook Live and everything, but I don't know if you can see behind me. There's this really steep hill back there, and there's, it's really steep. It's like even hard to walk up because it's so steep. But it is, there's these high school kids over there, and they're like riding this little toy race car down the hill. It's pretty funny. So I just kind of got a good kick out of that as I was heading down here to the beach just to come do my Facebook Live. And over here it's actually kind of dark, but the camera picks up all the light, so it looks like it's like the afternoon, but I don't know if you can see, it's like sun has already set. It's already dark out here, but the camera picks up so much light that I figured I'd just come do it out here anyway. But yeah, so today I'm going to talk a little bit more about like what's going on when you're under contract after you got a deal under contract. And yeah, hey Paige, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about once you're under contract, what you got going on, or what do you do, and some of the things that I've encountered this week. And we'll get into that in a second here. We'll be talking about some CapEx. Hey, Mary. Hey, how you doing, Mary? Good to see you on here. We'll talk about CapEx. We'll talk a little about the office and kind of the things that we're doing for the office. Just some of the due diligence that we're going to be doing on our self-storage deal. Let me see. I have notes and everything, so hold on one second. Talk about some of in terms of the lighting. I wrote down other things that we talked about here: cameras, property management, website, syndications versus doing a joint venture, kind of the differences of syndications and joint ventures. And let's see, I already mentioned website, legal documents, logo design, investor management software, and things like that. So we'll be talking about a bunch of different things. And yeah, looking forward to discussing that. If you guys got any questions that pop up, feel free to let me know. Got to say hi to Jeffrey. Thanks for showing up. Joshua, thanks for showing. Yeah, Mary, I know it's amazing here. Like I don't know. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I can't really tell if the wind is bothering you guys or not. But yeah, it's great. You know, the background is awesome. You know, it's like, even though it's dark, like out here, the camera picks up so much light that it looks like it's, I don't know, it looks like it's like 4:30 or something, but it's actually kind of dark right now. So yeah, say hi. Hi, Mary. Hi, Henry. Kyle, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And so I'll just kind of get into it a little bit right now. We'll go ahead and start. But I'd love for you guys to put in any questions that you guys have. If you got any questions that pop up, you know, primarily what I do is every Friday I try to do this, have a little talk about, you know, once you got a deal under contract, what happens, right? You've got a deal under contract. Thanks, Paige, let me know. I'm gonna take a seat here so I'm not just standing up the whole time. Okay. Once you get a deal under contract, what happens, right? Like, you know, now that you're got a deal, that's the big thing, right? Getting a deal, and then what do you do, right? Hey, Mike, thanks for showing up. Oh, I lost all my, oh, there you go. Hi, Mike, Sterling, thanks for showing up. Olivia, thanks for showing up. Let me know, like, type in here any questions that you guys have, okay? So, just gonna talk a little bit about the CapEx and everything. So, the good thing is that, try to think, we are on, I think, our third week. So we just passed our third week of due diligence right now, right? So our money will go hard at the end of this month, right? And so we want to make sure that we're done with our due diligence, and we're pretty much done. At this point, we already know what we're doing in terms of the CapEx that needs to be put into the deal. We know how much it is, and we've already sourced out a lot of our vendors and figured out who are going to be our vendors. But that's really what this first 4 weeks is spent on, because your money goes hard after 30 days of being under contract, and then if you pull out of the deal, you basically lose your earnest money, right? So some of the things that we did this week, we are working on drainage. Drainage is kind of a big issue, right? You know, with especially when you see all these hurricanes that come through. But actually, our place was not flooded in any of the big hurricanes that came through either this year or in the past, like, you know, since like Hurricane Charlie and all these other hurricanes that went through. So that's a great thing. Our place didn't flood, and it's not in a flood zone. I thought it was originally. I thought we were going to have to pay flood insurance, but I found out it's not. So that's pretty awesome. That's probably one of the big concerns that a lot of new people ask. Is like, well, what happens if you guys, you know, get a fire, earthquake, or flood or something like that? What happens in those cases, right? And one thing that you got to have is when you got to insure your place. So once you insure it, you got to make sure that you have the right insurance as well. So you want to have like loss of business. I forgot what the actual term is, but it's basically like you're losing rent every single month, right? And you have insurance that can pay for that and pay for that rent every month if you do have sort of a catastrophic loss. I forgot what it was. If anybody knows what the term is, just write it in there, write it in the chat so that other people can know what that is. But you want to have that because if you have a fire and it knocks out half your building, right, and then you still have to pay, you're still going to have to pay your mortgage, right? You still have bills that you got to pay. And either that's going to come out of your pocket or the insurance company, you pay for that through the insurance company, and then they will, basically, they will be the ones that will fund that for you. Mike, loss of use. I can't remember. I don't remember it being loss of use, but I remember it being like, you know, it's kind of like loss of rents or something like that. I forgot what the name is, but you want to make sure you have that on any type of real estate property. Anytime you have a mortgage, right, you're going to have to pay that mortgage. So make sure you have that on here. We'll say hi to Alex. Thank you for showing up. Okay, and then, okay, so we have an office building on our property, right? It's we have a self-storage facility, so that's what's under contract, right? And we are going to use, our plan is to go fully automated, right? So basically anybody can show up and find their unit, pay for their unit, lease out their unit, do it all online, and then they could go to their actual unit and pick up a lock right there. And so we being fully automated, we're not going to have a person there. We don't have any payroll for a person, so we can cut down on payroll, but we also, you know, there's no office. There's no use for an office, but we have an office. So what are we going to do with that office, right? So I think originally our plans were to, hey, let's renovate it and rent it out to a small business, you know, a local CPA, a realtor, you know, a notary or something, you know, a small type of business. And because it has three rooms in the office, and it has a bathroom and a shower and things like that. But we looked at it a little closer just to kind of figure out like what would that all cost and everything. It looks like it's going to probably cost a lot just because it would need a large renovation. So now we're thinking, okay, so what do we do with this office? It's possible that we just knock it down, right, and then just extend our fence. And if we extend our fence and knock it down, we can actually just turn basically more of a parking lot. So we can do that. We can knock it down and then put up like a portable, what are these called? Portable storage unit, right? So they may have portable storage unit. They're made from like shipping containers or, you know, some type of thing like that. And you can put those in there and then just have more storage units. Hey, Kapitha, thanks for joining. And so those are some options that we have, or we could just keep it. Now, the good thing about our property is that, oops, what did I just do? I just flipped this camera. Did I just do that? Okay. Oops. There we go. Malfunctions here. Okay. The good thing about it is that that office building, which, you know, either the office or a parking lot, extended parking lot, or extra space for storage, is actually not underwritten in our pro forma. So we don't count on actually having that money in our pro forma, and that's just kind of like some of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing. So we're not counting on that money. So anything that we bring in like that is just extra. So that's just benefit for, you know, just kind of icing on the cake type of thing. So let me see. Okay, talked about a little bit CapEx type of things. Other things that we did this week. So let me see if you guys are still here. There's a couple people. let me know like kind of what you want to talk about in terms of like being under contract or anything like that. So if you have something that's under contract that, or you had a question about being under contract or anything like that, just write your questions in there, because I'd like to make this a little interactive and not just me rambling the whole time, right? So put up some questions, love to hear them, or just put, at least like tell me who you are or where you guys are located at, because I can't really tell who's all in here. So tell me where you guys are and where you're located and everything, all right? Some of the other CapEx items we talked about with my team, we talked about the lights. We want to make sure that the lights are operational. Right now they're not fully operational, but we found out that the city owns some of these lights, so, or at least a majority of them. So we could talk to the city about putting up, making sure these lights are functional, because right now they are not all functional. And or we can decide to put up solar lighting ourselves and not have to, pay the city and pay the electrical bill and all that kind of stuff. So potentially, we might just go solar and just use those type of lights instead of having the city. But either way, it's a good option for us. We'll talk about cameras too. We talked about different types of cameras. We want to get, make sure our camera system is up and running, and it's probably a Wi-Fi based one. And we can, it looks like we already have internet out there, and we'll be able to put up some of the new cameras and everything. Let me see. Tom, thanks for joining. Let's see. Have you thought of using any part of the facility for billboards or cell towers? So that has come up as a possibility as well. I think that's a great idea. The cell tower thing would be, I think, would be great as well. I actually just looked into that a little bit today. I think so. That's a great suggestion there. Appreciate that. Thank you, Tom. I owe you $1. I owe you lunch, buddy. Okay, and so Michael, let me see. Hey, Michael, what kind of value add can you do in self-storage? Okay, so similar to multifamily and apartments, right? So there's vacancy factors, and so ours happens to be a big vacancy is the big issue, right? So how much we have 65% occupied right now, so our plan is to get above 82% occupied, right? So that's where our big thing is, so that's where our big value add is right now. When you talk about other pieces of value add, expansion is always a big one, right? So if you have land, a lot of self-storage facilities have land next to them, so you could potentially build more self-storage, right? So you think of it, that's a pretty great way to add value. There's other ways, like if you wanted to sell retail items, if you have an on-site staff and they want to sell retail items, right, you can do that as well. That's a possibility. And there are, like U-Haul, like you can use get a contract with U-Haul and then have U-Haul trucks there, and just go from, you can get extra commission for U-Haul. Insurance is another thing where you can earn commission on. So you can basically charge your tenants to have, or make sure that they have insurance. And every time that they pay that $11 insurance, you might get $5 of that $11, right? So there's a way to boost your revenue right there. So hey Robert, thanks for joining. Yep, you're right. We do have an awesome team. Appreciate it. You're a big part of that, buddy. And then Mike, you asked, what kind of loan are you getting with 65% occupied, right? So that was a big thing in terms of our loan. I'm going to see if I can move it a little bit to, I don't know if it's getting dark for you guys. Looks like I can't really. I'm just going to walk around a little bit to get where there's a little bit more light. So we are going with, just so you know, Michael, we're going with a private lender. So who's going to fund us for our deal. So that's we know a private lender, and they're going to help us out with lending, and lend for 3 years, interest only, similar to like a bridge lender. Very very similar terms and everything. So that's what we got going right now. Good question though. What's up, Frank? What's up, buddy? Good to see you on here, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. If you've got anything to add, feel free to let me know too. You or Robert, let me know. Let me see. The big thing this week was, kind of solidifying our property management as well as our website. So property management, they're also going to hire the property management is going to hire our maintenance staff, and they're going to run kind of our maintenance staff, and that's going to be a big part of it, right? So we don't have on-site staff. We just have a contractor that's going to do some of the maintenance part of it, and that's going to be help us cut down on our payroll a lot, right? And let's see, website. So when it comes to the website, let me just flip my notes here. I mean, our website company is a big part of it, right? When you're thinking if you're an automated facility and you don't have anybody there to sell people, you don't have any on-site staff to train or anything, then your website better be super important, right? And so that's where we are, is that our website is so important. So we're working with a company, and in terms of like website build outs, the company that we're working with that's all they do is self-storage website build outs. So they're very versed in how to build the right website for you, but then also running pay-per-click programs, because that's a huge important piece of it is running your pay-per-click. Now, in terms of website, they, cost-wise, it's probably we've seen some about $1,500 to about like $4,000 to build your website. That's just to build your website, right? And you're going to have somewhere in the cost of around, I've seen the cost to be from $200 to like $600 a month that you're going to need to maintain your website. So you're going to have changes on your website, because self-storage is not like multifamily. It's actually can change a lot faster. So, one day your price for a 5x5 might be $35, but the next day it might be $37, and the next day it might be $39, and then it might go down to $37. So it can change really fast, right? And just like the airlines, basically, it's just like the airlines. It's kind of dynamic pricing. So your website needs to be integrated with your management system. There's a lot of like technology that goes back and forth. Actually, more than multifamily, more than most multifamily that I've seen. So you have that in self-storage where the technology needs to be pretty advanced, right? It's not just put up a website and then you pay $12 a month for the domain or things like that. You actually need some integrations and more technology involved. So costs anywhere from say $200 to like $600 a month to run that part of your website. Then you're also going to have pay-per-click programs that you're going to run, especially with us when you don't have your occupancy is only 65%, right? So you need to get it up. So you need to run these advertising programs that are probably going to run you at least $400 a month, and up to $800 a month, depending. It kind of depends on your area and your competition level and things like that. I wanted to say, hey, Jeremiah, thanks for joining. Yep, you're right, Frank. Private lenders, easy and simple. Yeah, very much so. So definitely rather go through that route than go through like a bridge lender and things like that. So Tom, you asked, how did I find this particular deal? So this deal was listed through a broker, right? So it's just kind of, contacting brokers, right? And finding the right deal that fits for you and everything. So this one fit. So everybody had the opportunity to go for it. And then it's a matter of like contacting that right broker and then, making the deal happen. Let's see. All right, where was I? Talking about websites and kind of technology and things like that. So there's that's a piece of it. So website plus your PPC, pay-per-click that you're using. So those are going to cost a couple $100 a month. That does not include your management software, which is like what you're using to know how many units do you have to rent, what the rent is, what your collection rates are, and everything. So that's additional. So you want to you're going to pay for management software as well. Okay, so that's just something that you need to be aware of in self-storage versus multifamily. You're not really paying for the property manager's software, things like that. I guess maybe indirectly you are, but it's a little different in self-storage. Wanted to say hi to Holly. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let's see, legal documents and logos. So right now we're getting all the legal documents in order, right? Because a big part of it right now is you need to make sure all the members are signing the operating agreement. So what we have is a JV, so we have a joint venture. It's not a syndication, and these are what I like to run. So I like to have joint ventures because I like to work with people that I like, that I want to work with, that are basically, these are my friends that I want to have and partners that I want to have for the next 5-7 years, or however long we keep this property. So I'm not necessarily doing a syndication. I just like to work with a smaller group of people. And right now we're working on the legal documents, getting all the legal documents in order. So if you are, just so anybody that's investing in multifamily or self-storage or anything like that, you might want to have a personal LLC that invests into the group's LLC. So a lot of times you need to have your personal LLC already up and running and ready before you invest. So you need to have that, get those paperwork done beforehand, right? So get your personal LLC, then that personal LLC is going to be the thing that invests into the group's LLC, right? So we're doing all that right now. We're pretty close to getting that all in order and getting all the final documents to our to the rest of our team here. And then we're also working on the logo. So that's another thing, like when you're working on the website. So I talked a little about the website. Websites take a while to create, right? It's not like, hey, I want a website, and then tomorrow you got a website, right? They take a while. So you need to give your team or whoever you're paying time to create your website. So we ask them how long it's going to take, right? And they're like 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, right? So if it's going to take 8 weeks, right, we only have 5 more weeks before we close on this property, right? So it'll be some time where we don't have a website, right? So we're going to try to hustle them and try to make them, hurry up and get something, or they'll put up something that maybe is just not the final website, right? But you just kind of got to know this. You don't want to be closing and then you start talking to the people that are doing your website, and then they're going to be 2 months out before they actually complete your website, right? So that's something you need to consider. And so we need to get the logo done, because they're asking, okay, well, we need your logo, we need pictures, we need, these kind of things that we're going to put on the website. And so, right now we're doing that logo. And actually, just to think of it, since you guys are all on here, if you guys would like to, I have a poll that I put out to my, my close family, all the other partners, just some friends and things like that. Just like, hey, you want to see what our logos are, what we're choosing from. So if you'd like to join our poll, I can maybe post that in the comments afterwards so that you guys can see. I don't know if I can post any comments in here. Oh, I guess I can. Let me see. It might take me a little bit. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. Okay. But if you're interested, you can join our poll and tell us what logo you like, and we'll go from there. And so let's see, what else is there? So that's pretty much what we've been doing right now. Again, we're still on schedule to close. Okay, Paige, you want to see kind of what we're so just so you know, the name of our company is called Radiant Storage, and it's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So let me see, Hong, you asked what cash on cash returns what cash on cash interests you when you're looking for a multifamily. So I guess it depends on what type of investor you are, right? Are you a passive investor? Are you the operator and everything? Because the operator is sort of different than the passive investor, right? And it also depends. We don't have passive investors in ours, so we have everybody is everybody in ours is a partner, right? So I guess I can't really tell you what I look for, because it's all personal, kind of like what's, compared to what, really what it comes down to. But, I would say in most commercial, multifamily / I don't know, even self-storage deals, you're probably looking at somewhere like around 7 to 9% cash on cash yearly. I don't know, could be higher. So if you find something that's like 8 to 10, probably feel pretty good about it. If you find something that's higher than that, that's pretty unusual to find in multifamily right now. I don't know, self-storage, you are able to find that, but multifamily, it's pretty hard to find anything higher than, say, 8 to 10 cash on cash yearly right now. So let's see, Frank, you said working with the local government, getting work permit. Yeah, you're right. So we, like Frank has mentioned, so we need to get some permits and some licensing that the seller didn't really have. So they have what's called a certificate of occupancy, and basically all commercial buildings that have, they all have a certificate of occupancy. It's basically when you build the building, you need to have that, and that you pass that down to whoever you sell it to. However, right now we only have a partial one. So my guy Frank here is actively working on getting the rest of it, getting it completed from the city and trying to find out like, hey, where's the rest of this? And we need the rest of the certificate of occupancy. Now, that's going to matter probably a little bit more to say like a lender or, you know, SBA lender or something like that. But as of right now, you know, our private lender knows about it, knows that we have a partial, is okay with it, and has you know, comfortable with everything that we have right now. So we'll be able to fund this deal even with just a partial. Yeah. So what other questions do you have? Hopefully, Hong, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, let me know. Is there anything that's kind of popped up as questions about whether it's about multifamily or whether it's about syndications or about joint ventures? Yeah, I mentioned a little bit that, you know, what I do is structure joint ventures now. So, you know, typically I'm not looking for like passive investors. You know, my network is full of people that want to be active and that have some capital. So they have some capital, they want to be active, they want to learn, want to experience, you know, have hands-on experience, and then potentially, you know, go do this on your own. Or if the deals work out in the future and you want to do more, those are the people that tend to want to invest with me or be part of my group. So, you know, that's just what my network is. And so I tend to do joint ventures, and just with small groups of people, I don't know, maybe like 10 at the most. And so that's a little bit about what I do. Hey, Mark, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. What other questions that you guys might have? You guys have any questions about closing the deal, about the lending, about differences between multifamily and storage, or why storage now, or why multifamily now, or any questions that I can answer to you guys. Anything that I can help out with, I'd be happy to answer some questions, or at least like let me know where you guys are. Hey, what's up, Mark? Yep, good to see you too, brother. But yeah, otherwise, it has gotten pretty dark here. I thought it'd be actually, you know, I came by the lights and everything, but yeah, it's gotten a little dark here. But I like to do this every Friday. Say hi to everybody, just kind of keep everybody abreast of what's going on when you have a deal and you're working towards closing it, right? So next week, yeah, I'll be able to do one next week. So next week I'll be able to do one, and we'll be pretty much like after the due diligence period, right? So it'll be like, okay, now the due diligence period is done. Hard money is hard, and you got to work towards closing the deal pretty much after that. So, Paige, you're in Denver. Okay, very cool. Is it getting cold there? I know that it's starting to get cold here, but it's, you know, I mean, Southern California, this is Los Angeles, so it's not really that cold. I'm still wearing shorts, so, you know, shorts and a hoodie, so I'm okay. So let me see, Hong, yes, appreciate it. Thanks for, hope you got appreciate it. You got the right idea in terms of like what we're talking about in terms of cash on cash. Okay, and Jeremiah, let's see, you have any tips on underwriting for self-storage or analyzer you would suggest? So let's see, I don't have an analyzer that I would suggest. My business partner has his, and we basically, it was a multifamily based one, and then we just kind of use a lot of that. So if you're good at underwriting multifamily, you've got about 90% of the skills that you need to do self-storage. So not all that different in terms of that. Like, there are some things, and there's, you know, unit mix is a lot bigger deal, right? Because you probably have, like, in self-storage, you probably have like 5 or 6 different unit mixes, where in multifamily, you know, you have 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, you know, maybe a 3 bedroom, maybe some different bathroom sizes and things like that. But in general, it's not as big of a deal as it is in self-storage, when you have a 5x5 and a 5x10. That's two totally different things. And then a 10x20 or a 10x10, right? Those are all very, very different price points and things like that. So you need to know that going into it. But I'll give you a good resource. There's a resource called Inside Self Storage. I think it's InsideSelfStorage.com. I believe it's .com. But if you go to Inside Self Storage, there it's like they have a ton of information. They have all these articles about how to analyze deals, and like you know anything, marketing deals, technology inside deals, you know, management, all different types of things. It's a really good website. And in there they do sell things. So I just saw today they sent me a thing where it's like, hey, we have a cloud-based deal analyzer, helps you, you know, produce some like really, it looks really good in terms of what is produced. I saw in a report from it, like a sample report, and it looks really good. $600. So if you want it, it's like $600 as far as a one-time fee if you wanted that. But if you're good at multifamily and you can underwrite multifamily, you can probably adjust it, your analyzer that you already have. Hey Charles, thanks for joining. Matt Forrest, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, let's see, Jeremiah, you're in Dallas. Hey, you know what? Just speaking of Dallas, I live in LA, but my wife is pushing us to maybe move, and Dallas is on the list of places that we may move to. So, hey, you know, I don't know. I might be taking a trip out there just to kind of look around a little bit, and I've seen some cool places that I may even want to move to. So it seems like it's a lot stronger of a possibility of moving out that way to Texas, Dallas. We've looked at a little bit Houston and, you know, Austin and things like that. So we'll see. But yeah, so any other last questions or anything that I can help you guys out with? Let's see, could I post the website link as well? So you want the page you're asking for, the inside self-storage one? I'll look for it and post that one if that's what you want to. Okay, yeah, you guys. So I'll post that one as well. I'll post the poll to look at the logos for you guys. So if you guys want to check out the logos and see what we're kind of working with, feel free to vote on them and things like that. And yeah, I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you. We'll see. I love my time here in Southern California, but yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where I'll be in a year? So, yeah, I think that's probably it, everybody. So I appreciate you guys all joining me. Yes, InsideSelfStorage.com. I believe that is it. I'll look it up and I'll try to post it in the in here when I publish this and everything. Okay. And yeah. Oh, so let me also tell you guys this, just since you guys are listening. Multifamily Masters, we are putting together our December event. It'll be December 14th, 2020. It's a Monday. We're starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. It's Express to Success, and what it is basically a rapid fire live stream. So we're gonna live stream rapid fire 15 different speakers, all from outside of multifamily, and they are all experts in their fields, like medical doctors, storyboard creators, all different types of people, athletes, people that train, you know, self-defense, all different types of things. We're going to talk about sort of, well, we spend 11 months of the year talking about multifamily and tactics and strategy and how to be a multifamily investor and why to be a multifamily investor and everything like that. But we're going to spend this last month to just kind of round out the, you know, there's many different facets for everybody, and we want to make sure that we touch on, you know, the mental side, relationships, all these different fields, health and everything. So we're going to have, that's what Express to Success is, okay? And so we do have I'll put in the link there too, because we just created our website for it. So we have Express to Success. It's a free event. Love to have everybody join. It's going to be an awesome event. It's our big event for the end of the year for Multifamily Masters. So looking forward to you all joining. Thanks, Frank, for posting that in there. Inside Self Storage. Yep, great source resource for a lot of information there. Okay. All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining. I'll say hi to you guys probably next week, and then I'll post some links in there pretty soon when I get back. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you guys soon.